Okay, here at Unpub 3 this weekend, we have Austin and Aaron with their game Post Position, a Dr. Wicks board game. It's been to a couple of the Unpub events, two, I think, in the fall. One or two? One? Only one.
Gamers.
Only one. You were at the Congress of Gamers, and now they've decided to bring it here to Unpub 3, and they're going to talk to us about it. Austin and Aaron, take it away.
All right. Well, Post Position is a horse racing game for 3 to 12 players, whereby players are buying and selling and trading stocks of horses during the course of the race. Every player has...
Every player
is
going to start off the game, and they're going to be a Dutch auction where they buy a physical share stock of horse. And what this horse stock does is if your horse finishes in the top 6 of the race, it gets paid. So if you look at the board, first place gets paid $22 a share. Second place gets paid $16 a share. Third place, $11 on down to $2 a share. If you finish below 6th place, your horse does not get paid anything per share. So there's one share in the game that's from the bank. And that share price, that dividend, is paid by the bank. But the exciting part is that the players can issue shares where they make a promise to pay the dividend. So if I write the promise to Austin saying that I will pay the dividend of the horse AA, and AA finishes in 2nd place, then I owe Austin the dividend for 2nd place, $16.
And so what this creates is an atmosphere of trading amongst the players. Because when you have players that are able to buy and sell any of these horses, it doesn't matter what place the horse currently is in, it matters where it moves to, if it moves up, if it moves down, and how much you paid for it. So every player has the ability to make money off of any trade that is made during the game.
So trading takes place 5 times during the race. Because there's 5 distinct movements in the race. Because what happens is that you're going to write down horse movements, and you're going to write them on a form, and everyone's going to do it at the same time. You're going to submit it secretly. And once you fill out the form, it's going to be turned in, we'll turn it upside down so no one sees it, and that's when we'll open up the market. And once the market is open, people have 4 minutes to trade amongst themselves. They'll haggle, they'll barter, they'll trade real stock, or they'll create these short positions with these promises to pay the dividends. Then that market will close. We'll reveal what happens, and the horses will move. And the horses will move 7 3 or 1 spaces on the straightaways, or 3 and 1 spaces on the corners of the racetrack. And once all the horses have moved, you take the horse that's in 1st place after all that movement, and you put it on the gray square. Take the horse in 2nd place, you put it right behind it. And it doesn't matter where they are on the track. You always reorder it this way in the next segment of the race. This keeps the race tight, so that there is never a runaway leader or a horse that's completely out of the race. Once that's been complete, you then have people rewrite down their horse movements. So you can submit, you open up the next market, and you repeat this process. And you repeat this process until the very end of the race. And once the race is finished, the stock shares pay out their dividends, and the people who have the short shares pay the money they owe to the other players. The great thing about this is that the players are always watching the race very closely, because
it doesn't matter which horse, because again, it doesn't matter which horse. You're not completely invested in one horse. You're looking at all of the horses. You care about who's coming in 4th. You care about who's coming in last. You want you need to be able to see everybody else. You read the board. Going back to this movement, going back to the movement concept, because every player has a little piece of information of how the horses are moving in the race. Every player has a sense of what will be moving up and down, and during the trading phase, players get to find out what other people are moving through their actions of what they want to buy and sell.
And that's the key. This is where you get your secret information in the game when you fill out your movement form that you use in the market phase to make money, because it's by knowing when players have the wrong prediction on how the horses are going to finish, it's when you're going to be able to sell them a horse for $12 that's really only going to finish and make $2, because they don't realize that you have 3 horses that are going to move in front of it and knock it lower in the pack of the race. And this tension keeps building. I mean, the great thing about this is the tension keeps building, and because everyone's getting dug deeper in their financial positions as the race progresses. And it really has this wonderful ending where you really find out at the end what happens. Where everyone's sort of there watching the horse packs, rooting for their horses, and knowing there's big implications.
Really keeping their fingers crossed that one horse in third doesn't move up to first.
Or that one horse that's in first falls to fourth.
There's a spirited game I saw you guys playing in there just a few minutes ago that I thought was fun. So people are responding to the game in a very positive way.
Yeah, it's great. It really feels like you're playing Pit, because Pit has that energetic trading phase, but the challenge with Pit is that it's very abstract. And if you learn what we're doing, you're really learning how to approach a real stock market, because you're valuing stock by what the stock can return to anyone in terms of money. Since the horses here can't be turned into glue, there's no assets. The only return you get from horses is what it pays as a dividend. And so the price of stock is just based on that. And so it's very real world and application from that. But that's sort of the bias of which
helps the game tremendously, because you go, oh, it's a horse racing game. Yay, it's an economic game. But no, because this game, we've played this game with 14-year-olds while here at Unpub 3, and they picked it up and had a blast with it. Because even though it uses real world stock market mechanics, it's done in a very human way. All you're doing is interplaying. You're interplaying with the other people at the table, and that's what's more important than any high level economic concept. But because you are a part of it, you understand what's going on, and very intuitively, if your horse just slipped 4 places, you're going to lose money, and you got to figure out some way to gain that back.
Because all people are doing is just buying low and selling high, and that's all you have to realize, because you're just identifying which horse is moving up and which horse is moving down.
Got it.
And yep.
It's a very interesting concept. So, because I know we put it on the site in the 3-view for the game. Tell me the origin of this again. I love it. I love the story, and I want to make sure people do hear this.
It was about 110 or 120 degrees.
Yes.
So we're delusional. Delusional?
Well, no. I mean, okay. So the full story. It
was my bachelor party.
It's his bachelor party, and so before the bachelor party, we had been talking about, we like racing games, and we've played some racing games, and it's like, but he's like, but wait a minute, in a racing game, everybody just owns one car. And that's not that much fun. We want to have multiple people come in and own multiple cars. So we started kind of throwing around some ideas of how to do that. And then we get to his bachelor party.
Yep.
We don't have any racing game, but we're like, we have this great idea for a mechanic.
I said, Austin, weren't you going to bring a racing game to the party? I promised all my friends from my graduate school, I'm a PhD student in economics, that we were going to do this racing game.
And I said, no, I only had enough space to bring a cooler out into this 110 degree heat and actually just bring some water. So no, I don't have a game.
Luckily, anticipating that we were going to play this racing game, I brought loose leaf paper, and there were rocks.
There were rocks.
There were rocks.
We were in a gazebo area.
Yep.
So he starts ripping up pieces of paper to create shares. I started growing them and grabbing different types of rocks to represent, well, at the time it was cars, but we were like, well, rocks aren't cars. Let's make it horses. And okay, and we have a simple track, and we have some stock, and his friends are like, whoa, what are you guys doing?
Magical rocks.
Okay.
You're racing magical rocks.
Let's go play some basketball.
I love it. I just think it's a really unique story. I mean, there's inspiration for board games come from everywhere and anywhere, and the ingenuity and creativity it takes to bring them to make them something is great. And I think that's something we really love to celebrate. So thank you guys for sharing that story with me. Thank you for bringing Post Position, Dr. Wick's board game here. You've got a Facebook for Dr. Wick's board games, right?
Yes, Dr. Wick's board games.
Okay.
WICTZ. If you can
CTZ.
spell that, you will find us.
All right. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day. I know you've got another playtest coming up real soon, I'm sure.
Right. And again, I'm Austin Smokowicz. This is Aaron Honsowetz, and we are Dr. Witz.
Thank you.